Alright, everyone, hello and welcome to episode 12 of Watching Walford, an EastEnders podcast where we talk about and review all the EastEnders episodes every single week. So, Biggie, I've done some doings this week. We are now officially on on some podcasting platforms.
Oh,
We are. I've written to Johnny Spotify, and we are now on Spotify under the name Watching Walford. Should be able to find us. Where else are we? I think we're on Apple Podcasts for some reason. We are on Apple Music. And apparently we're on all of the other platforms. We're on Deezer. We're on JioSaavn, an Indian online music streaming platform. We're on Podchaser. We're on Samsung. We're everywhere. We're not on Apple Podcasts, though, or Google Podcasts, because I got lazy, or iHeartRadio. But yeah, we're on podcast platforms. If you do go ahead and go onto the podcast stream, go ahead and what do you even do with podcast? You rate it 5-star?
Rate us 5 stars and we won't break our legs.
In a video game in Minecraft.
Yeah. We'll go with that. Just make sure not to turn on your car at night. That's what I'll say.
But yeah, go ahead over to the platforms, like the stuff. It was interesting to do, but it also took a while. But we made it there.
We're halfway there. Whoa!
It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice to be there, I'll be honest. A part of me got really excited doing it, despite the fact that I just submitted it by myself. It wasn't hard. But we're on podcast streams, so if you want to drive back and have our dulcet tones in the car, go ahead and do that. And otherwise, we are more than just one podcast. We make videos discussing characters, like current storylines, previous storylines, some kind of like just discussion-y type videos. And yeah, I think that's what we do. And we do some news as well. And this podcast is just audio only, but maybe in the future, if we ever get a Patreon, maybe eventually we will make it a video podcast. But who knows? I am your host, Ash, and I'm joined by Piggy. How's it going, Piggy?
And I'm joined by the Seal, but I'm going good. I had I spent some things. I got some things. If you guys want to know, I got some things. Would you guys like to know what I got this week?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I got my Wallace and Gromit set finally.
Nice.
I went to Smith's because Smith's is literally in my town over. I went to Smith's and I got a Blink-182 set.
Oh,
it's a pop final set of Enema of the State. That's the song where Tom DeLonge sings all the small things.
Yeah.
True care, truth brings.
I know.
You'll be at my show. Watching.
Copyright.
Watching, waiting, commiserating. Sharing. I'm showing up the song now. Stuck in my head. In my head.
Get moving. Come on, we got a podcast to do.
I also got some WWE figures. I got Piper and Evan. I'm not calling her Dewdrop. It was technically a Dewdrop figure. Not calling her Dewdrop. I refused that.
Fair enough.
I got Scarlet with a horrible head scan. Absolutely dog terrible.
Yeah.
I got Bray Wyatt that was burnt.
It was
the figure. No. Do you remember when Randy Orton set the Fiend on fire?
Oh,
and
yes.
He came out burnt.
Yes.
They made a figure of him burnt. I should say.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it was £7.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I also got Becky Lynch. And then I
Nice.
went out for a night out yesterday, and I got some coke, not cocaine. We've got McDonald's.
Nice.
My friend is only what's the thing before you become a full driver? A professional?
Provisional, yeah.
A professional. He's only a professional. I shouldn't say that on a podcast. He's a full driver. I'm not making that up.
There
He's a
have been no incidents with anybody who doesn't have a full driving license driving the car.
yeah. He drove me to McDonald's yesterday. He bought me McDonald's, and I in return bought him a Guinness Zero because he was driving, and then we had Coke. So it was a pretty good day.
Nice.
$3.50 for a Coke though.
Jesus. That's
It was
ridiculous.
€5 for a Guinness Zero.
Oh, God.
$5.50 for a Guinness though. If you want a Guinness, $5.50.
I don't want a Guinness. Guinness
Oh,
tastes
it,
bad.
well, it depends because I always think that Guinness imported like Guinness not directly from the Guinness factory is horrible.
Indeed.
Like
Okay.
Guinness in Ireland is lovely because it's not being shipped like if 400 miles. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Like if it's being shipped to England, it's gonna taste horrible because it's literally just been in a container for like a week, and
Yeah,
then
true.
that'll taste even worse. But in Ireland, it's pretty good. Again, I'd love to get a Guinness hot chocolate again.
Does. Yeah, it sounds a bit weird. But yeah.
But I had a good week. I had yeah. If people want to know what I got at McDonald's yesterday, I got a 20-piece chicken nugget box.
I don't like McDonald's
Um,
chicken nuggets, mate.
but how can you hate them?
They don't taste of anything.
They taste like chicken nuggets.
They taste like McDonald's chicken nuggets.
They are delicious, and I
They do
will fight.
not taste of chicken.
Well, I don't care what it tastes. It's the sweet and sour sauce that makes it.
Okay, fair enough. I'll take the sweet and sour sauce, but chicken nuggets. McDonald's chicken nuggets are dog.
I also last Sunday I went to Smith's again last Sunday and I bought two Brock Lesnar's in these overalls, and I also said I have a poo story to tell.
Okay.
Uh, so there's this place, I don't know if it's in England. It's called Abracadabra. It sells kebabs. It sells spice boxes. It sells chips, basically chips,
Yeah.
burgers,
All right.
and basically so. We went up to the counter. We ordered our food. I got a spice box. I forget my dad. I think my dad got a 5-ounce steak burger. I
Oh,
think.
fuck. That sounds amazing. Jesus.
No, that was out of Supermax. Sorry, he got a 5-ounce steak burger out of Supermax. I'll explain Supermax in a minute. I forget what he got in um forget what he got in Abracadabra. But I just went. I need to go to the bathroom. And now this bathroom is tiny. Like the door, your legs. Have you ever been on a train toilet before?
Yes.
And your
Yes, I
legs are
have.
literally touching the door.
Yep.
That is essentially what the Abracadabra bathroom was like. And so I was doing my business. I was
Mm-hmm.
doing my business. I got a bit of the dose of the eepy oops, and I basically shot my cats. Well, I didn't actually shot my cats, but I absolutely Pearl Harbored the jacks.
Okay.
Like, and then I was wiping and wiping and wiping and wiping. I flushed and I was wiping and wiping and wiping because I was just after literally dropping the most diabolical thing in that Jack's. So I was wiping and wiping and wiping, flushed, wiping and wiping and wiping. I filled the toilet up with some amount of toilet roll, and I started flushing it. I started clogging the Jacks, and it was an awful smell. So I just washed my hands and left.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I had a poo story. So
To be fair, when you said you had a shit story, I was expecting you to just shit yourself.
no, no, that only happened to me once, and I can tell that story gladly.
No,
Uh,
we'll save it. We'll save it.
But yeah, for people who want to know what Supermax is, now you
Oh,
might not believe me, but you can literally Google this. Years ago, McDonald's had a fight with Supermax, a legal fight, not literally the Ronald McDonald was outside fighting a cow who's representing Supermax. They had a legal battle because Supermax owns the rights to a Big Mac over here,
okay.
and then McDonald's went, no, 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 we own the rights to Big Mac, and Supermax went, no, we own the rights. They settled it out of court. Supermax won. And Supermax is basically this place that sells chicken, burgers, doesn't sell kebabs, and these Muzi ice creams. So I got a lunchbox for
Mm,
€12. It's basically loads of chips with chicken.
yeah,
And my dad got a 5 ounce steak burger, which it was a small burger, but the chips made up for it.
yeah.
And I also got a Muzi. And I tell you one thing, when I finished that lunchbox, and then I eventually finished that movie, I could not walk. I was too stuffed. Hold on, there is a photo of me, what I look like when I finish, if I can get the photograph. Hold on, there is a photograph of me that I will show. Where is this now? Where is this photograph? Oh, there's the photograph of me after attacking this burger. I don't know if Discord will load,
uh,
but
you want me
the
to flash
photo,
it up on the screen?
uh, if you want.
Okay, so no, 'cause that's more work editing.
But yeah, there's a photograph. It'll eventually send.
Okay,
So
yeah. All right. Is that your week?
yeah, how was your week been?
I can't act like I'll have as wonderfully, beautifully long as yours was. But my week was alright. Um, I gave myself 3 days off. We had 3 days off work from Tuesday to Friday. I basically went, everybody, leave me alone, please. I want some real loner time, and it was so good. it was so good because I don't know if anybody else, any other natural loners listening will realize how refreshing. Just like, I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Nobody's gonna message me. I'm not gonna be like, "Ah, now I gotta now I gotta like now I gotta do something for an hour. Now I gotta go over there. What did I do? Not much, honestly. I did fuck all, but it was very peaceful and it was pretty refreshing actually. I'm feeling pretty good now. Money just came in for the month, so I get that as well. It's nice to have. Yeah, it's a good week, I think. It definitely got away from me though. It went a lot faster than I thought it would.
I think when you're alone, the day goes by faster or slower, depending on the person.
Yeah, it depends who you are, really. Like, I like I like some people. Some people are sound. Most people are not though. So
I'm one of them.
you are sound.
No, I'm not. Don't patronize me.
Oh, all right. Yeah. What else did I do? Not much, honestly. It's been very nice. I enjoyed the EastEnders. I watched some Neighbours 2012 though. Gave it a bit more of a try. Actually, pretty alright. It took me a bit to get into it, but I watched about 12 episodes and it got along. Amazon Freevee as a service is pretty decent. Like, the ads aren't that bad. Yeah, one thing I do need to do. I need to catch up on all the other soaps though. As much as I love doing Watching Walford, EastEnders is the only show I'm caught up on. Like, I'm still stuck in February in Coronation Street. I barely, I got into Emmerdale at the end of last year, but I didn't watch any of it since. But yeah, need to catch up on more soaps. And yeah, there we are. That was our week.
How was your week? Leave it in the comments below.
How was your week? We want a essay, 10-page essay that Piggy will read.
We want to know.
And then put in the shredder. No, but I suppose actually, in one of the bonus videos we did, where I don't know whether it was the Piggy does not miss Mick Carter or the 3 months on do you miss him. Someone put a pretty interesting discussion point in the comment section. Someone said Mick Carter was the best character they've introduced in 10 years, and that to me, because I'm an EastEnders nerd, so I'm like, oh bloody hell, let's go through the books. Let's see if he is the best character introduced in the last 10 years. And it's begrudgingly true, but it was a pretty good thought exercise. So if you have any of these, like, I say hot takes, it's not a hot take. If you have any of these opinions, put it in the comments down below, because, if it's interesting enough, we will make a video about it.
Yeah.
We were pretty, to be fair, we would have made a video about it had I not have had my 3 days off, because, but I had my 3 days and I went, nah, I'm not moving. You're not making me. But yeah, it's time to start the show. It's time to review week 12, 2023. The episode's going from the 20th of the 3rd, 2023 to the 23rd of the 3rd, 2023. We kickstart the week as we see Whitney walking downstairs listening to Denise and Chelsea talk about Mother's Day. Denise says she is proud of Chelsea for turning her life around and asks about Whitney, who comes down the stairs and says Happy Mother's Day, as Chelsea apologises for the day, but Whit says, you've done nothing wrong. And Martin is seen cleaning the dishes and Sharon has bought herself some chocolates. Martin tries to snatch some as Sharon says, When were you on the brink of when were you on the brink of death, pushing us out a small human, and snatches them back? Is it sad to buy yourself chocolates on Mother's Day?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
Do you think it is?
I mean, chocolate's chocolate, right?
Yeah. I'm currently having a chocolate fix, white chocolate, yogurt.
Ooh. Yogurt. Yogurt.
Question: do you drink your yogurts or do you spoon them?
It depends on the yogurt. If it's like a Actimel, I don't know, those fancy drinky yogurts. If it's the drink ones, yeah. If it's like if it's in like a little tub, no, we just spoon it.
Yeah, because I just mainly drink my yogurts. They're in, no matter what they are.
What if it's a mousse?
That's different.
Yeah, but it's still a yogurt.
That one I will spoon, but the other ones that are in a little tub, I will just drink.
Fair enough.
So what would you like your yogurts? Leave it in the comment.
Sharon says that Whit needs patience and care and for Zack to be the strong one when he's grieving too. Notice that he is still grieving. And we need to make sure that people know that he's still grieving, because everybody on the show just says that Whitney's grieving. And I get it. She was the one who lost the baby. She was carrying it inside. But, there's two parents here. It's just something that often gets overlooked.
Yes, because the way people have viewed in society is the woman who pushes it out of her fanny is the more important one. The dad can go fuck himself, hang himself out of a tree, and fucking die. But if the mother is so far as abused the child, it's the father's fault. Fuck you, society. Sorry, that was just a bit of pent up anger from my childhood.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. You're allowed to have it. Let's just say in a video game in Minecraft. Just yeah,
No, but
fine.
I
No, no,
remember last year. Sorry to be sidetracked, but I remember last year we were on about like mothers in school. We were on about mothers and children, and I said, yeah, but the justice system for dads is horrible, and they went, no, no, the justice system for dads are actually good. And I'm like, you do realize when you go to court. So if your dad, let's just say he's still alive. Sorry to be very mean about that. Let's just
it's
say he
perfectly fine, mate. Carry on.
let's just say he was alive and your mother had a falling out. It was just you didn't have any brothers. The justice system cares more about the mother because the mother pushed it out than they do about the father because the father he's just a man who planted the seed, basically. He
Yeah,
planted the tree and then she pushed out the tree, basically. So the justice system is unfair for that. Because I think dads should be as equal
yeah,
in a lot of things. Because like dads are the ones who mainly have to buy them clothes, buy them because the woman is basically just expected to whip out her ditty and breastfeed it and make it breakfast, dinner, lunch, or tea. And the father is mainly expected to pay child support, to buy clothes, to buy cots, buy nappies. Like, you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
pretty unfair, the society.
That's a society expectation for sure.
Yeah, it shouldn't be right. They should be treated as equal. It should be an equal ping pong battle, but it's not. And I know
Well,
that there's going to
obviously, it
be
has to be
some people.
equal if it's actually a dad
Yeah, gives a shit.
who makes the effort. Yeah, because you know, you take this in the other angle, and you have people who will complain about. Uh, let's not go into that topic. People
We can
will
go into it.
complain about no, I don't want to derail that much. But yeah, no, I think that's pretty justified, and I think that's why EastEnders is trying to keep people keenly aware that Zack is still grieving, you know, and that's pretty important.
I see. It's hard for me, but I love, I love the storyline they're going with where Shaq is grieving. It's just I can't get over his facial expressions. Like he's trying to be sad, but he's there smiling.
Hmm. Yeah, he's he's much prettier than he is a good actor.
Yeah.
And yeah, Sharon essentially says, "Get off your hole and prove to Whitney that you actually care, because that's the main issue." Whitney feels that Zack doesn't care, and it's just not good for each other, type deal. Then we see Lexi hand Lola a quilt for Mother's Day and has planned a whole day for them to spend it together. She worked on the quilt with Kathy with the idea that she gets too cold during chemo. It's the kind of things that like some of these the gifts don't need to be expensive as long as there's like nice thought put into it.
What did you get your mother for Mother's Day, huh?
Some flowers and a card.
Do you know what you get your mother? Some scratch cards. Every
Nah,
mother loves some scratch cards.
nah. I associate that more with like a Nan's thing, personally.
Well, it works for either or.
Yeah, true. And
So we can,
hmm, yeah, he said
I
you're
was
too
gonna,
busy eating your hot cross bun. You don't know why they call it hot cross bun. I know why they call it hot cross bun. Do you want to know why?
why?
Well, they eat it on Good Friday, and you know obviously the cross is there to represent Jesus on the cross. Um, the spices are supposed to mean his like bitterness at being crucified, and there's something else that I forgot. Um, there was another one that I read but forgot, and I want to check it. Um, yeah, the cross of the crucifixion, the spices. Oh no, the spices to signify the spices used to embalm him, and the orange peel to reflect the bitterness on his time on the cross. There we are. Very interesting. fairly relevant as well. It's Easter soon, right?
It's Easter.
Like 2 weeks.
Not next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We have to actually live watch EastEnders this week and not record it on a Friday. Do the notes on a Friday
Oh,
because
do
we
we?
are approaching the final. Yeah, because we have to do a video on Thursday where we detail everything that happened in March. Oh
Oh,
yeah,
Christ! All right.
and then the following Sunday we have to be fat and eat eggs.
True. True.
So yeah, interesting times.
And then the Dan 7 of the square walks in. Emma is here and does a reverse effect, and she goes, "Hey, Lola, I want you to put your feet up." But this kind of jeopardizes some of Lexi's plans, and Lexi looks a bit upset. Emma's had it rough from everyone.
I wonder, does the actress, if she ever watched this podcast, I wonder would she appreciate being referred to the Dan Severn of the square?
It feels like a pretty niche reference, I'll be honest. I also don't think she's watching the podcast.
She might watch the podcast.
You can believe that if you want, but I feel like she has better things to do.
Oh, we will be officially canon in EastEnders at some point.
Yeah, keep that, and keep hoping. Stacy gets a text from Shifty Shiv, who is pressuring his loan money, like essentially saying, "I want my money back." And Eve also gets a text. Eve tries to lie and say it's from her mum, but Stacy realizes and says, "Say hi to Suki for me." One thing I can appreciate, Stacy and Eve have a wonderful friendship.
Yeah.
Like, basically, Eve is probably one of the most interesting new characters they've introduced in a couple of years, I would argue.
I would have to agree.
I'd say her, Suki, I'd say Rocky, I'd say Freddy, and I'd also say my boy Bobby B.
You're forgetting someone.
Am I?
Yeah.
Who?
You're forgetting the Liam Neeson of the square.
Oh, Reese, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Reese hasn't been here long, so he hasn't got all of his bits yet.
He's I love how we have the Dan Severn and the Liam Neeson, where we'll eventually get through actors who are hard on the square.
Indeed.
We need to know from people what actor Danny Dyer is, or wrestler or MMA fighter is Danny Dyer, because we have the Dan Severn and the Liam Neeson, so we just need to
Indeed.
know what Danny Dyer was, and Ross Kent. So I'll leave it in the comments.
And Freddie wishes little Mo a great happy Mother's Day, and he says that he's blessed to be her son. But I also went, they're gonna bring in little Mo at some point, right? Like, it feels like Freddie at some point is gonna figure out who his actual dad is.
Who is his actual dad?
Unfortunately, little Mo was raped. Was it by Trevor? Or was it someone else? Graham. Graham. Who is Graham? Graham Foster. That is Freddie's dad.
All right.
Indeed. They essentially he becomes friends they become friends, but he takes advantage of her. But he eventually did go ahead and get charged. Justice was served. But yeah, at some point Mo is going to be brought back in, because it feels like it feels like the story. It feels like, well, when they initially brought Freddy in, it was obviously going to figure out who his dad was, but he's just kind of given up figuring out who it actually is. because he thought it was Billy, because obviously Little Mo and Billy were together for a while. But yeah, I hope Freddy stays though. Like, I'll happily have Freddy stay here for years. He's a great character.
Yeah, I agree.
And Lily hands Stacey flowers, not for Mother's Day, not for Jean, who thinks they're for her. They're for Whitney as an apology. That's a shite bit of flowers, that.
Could have just robbed some from the local garden.
Picked by a teenager. Garbage set of flowers. And Jean's a bit sad, but Freddy offers her a dinner at the Queen Vic, and Jean says, I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left. But before she can do a best Ian Beale impression, Freddy says, I'll pay for it.
Whenever I can worm that quote in, I will worm it in.
And Zack and Martin talk about Baby Peaches and are upset how she isn't technically real. Martin tells them about his experience with Ruby's miscarriage and his best friend Kush's and Shabnam's experience with Zaire. He said that they planted a tree with Kush, and Ruby and Martin marked it with some pebbles or something. And Zack goes, hey, what are you doing later? Then Felix tells Stacey and Lily, who knock on the door at Whitney, saying, like, look, Whitney's asleep at the moment, just, I'll give her the flowers. And I think he noted that Felix looked very tall in these shots. And
he did.
He is genuinely very tall. Like, I don't know if it's just he's tall in comparison, but he looks absolutely giant.
He looked like Andre the Giant in like that shot. Like, I don't know what it was, but maybe it's because
he was like hitting the door.
Yeah. I don't know how he was so tall in that scene. He doesn't look that tall.
No, he is pretty tall.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? In other scenes, he looks like he fits in. But in that scene, he just looked gigantic.
How tall is the actor? Matthew Morrison. Also, isn't it fun that he's been on the square since July of last year and hasn't done anything?
It's pretty fun.
Well, he got to bring out tiramisu. Or no, tiramisu, sorry. And also, what else did they do? They've just kind of been Chelsea and Whitney's friends, and they did obviously lose their dad Avery, so I guess they've had some stuff, but not much. Emma, Lola, and Lexi are just chatting and having fun, walking through the square as Lexi gets jealous because Lola isn't paying attention to her. It makes sense because this could be Lexi's last Mother's Day with Lola, but as Lola's about to say, it's Lola's first real Mother's Day with a mum. So, like, maybe she doesn't want to watch your routine, Lexi. Maybe she can watch your routine later. And we cut to the pub and we see Ben, Bobby B, Kathy, and Rocky. We get an update on Ian. As it turns out, he sent Kathy an e-card. I wrote this. I guarantee he's back before the end of 2025. I guarantee it.
You think?
Yeah, he's coming back once his divorce is settled. He's going to do some stage work, and then he's going to come back.
He is the longest character on the square, isn't he?
Yep. Like, Sharon technically started at the same time, but Sharon had a lot more time off from the square, obviously. But yeah. And we get an interesting story about Lola's nan, Emma's mum, who was apparently the stunning singer who Emma wanted to be like when she grew up. Lola wanted to know more about her side of the family, but Lexi decides to run off and Lola follows in hot pursuit. Did I already read this? I think I missed this the first time. Yeah, and Rocky and I suppose cut back to the pub, and Rocky insists on paying for like some champagne, as he's been getting some of that feet pick money. Yeah, it's a weird situation. More on that later. Zack then runs into Whitney's. You wrote kind of like when Shrek barges into the castle to save Princess Fiona.
Do you know what I mean, though? It's like he just did a little Shrek run.
You know, if you agree in the comment section. And Zack essentially goes, look, I'm planting a peach tree. You can join us if you like. He's invited a bunch of other people for extra support. Whitney snaps, crackles, and most definitely pops at Zack, saying, we didn't change her nappies. We didn't have sleepless nights because she doesn't technically exist. And Zack leaves the ashes with Whitney, but decides he's going to plant the tree because he needs to grieve too. Your thoughts?
She snapped, crackled, and popped. That was it.
No. Well, it sounded like you were going to pipe up.
No, it's just she's just been mean to like Zack. I understand she's grieving, but like Jesus, it's almost like there's two people on the square that could bully most: the Dan Severin and Zack.
True. To be fair, it has been a hot topic lately. There have been a lot of people fighting both sides on the old EastEnders subreddit. Because understandably, yeah, her body's in recovery mode. She's struggling. She feels like she doesn't deserve to be a mum. A baby doesn't technically exist, but she still went through this experience. But I guess there's no time on how long you get to grieve. And Whitney's obviously wanting to take hers at a slightly slower pace than Zack is right now. Or at least she's just kind of escaping the truth. Who knows? I'm fairly sympathetic to both sides, obviously, so I'll give them that. And back at the Vic, we see Freddy almost spill the toe beans to Jean, and Rocky tells him to keep it stum, because people understandably get a little bit weird about selling feet pics online. Lola, Emma and Lexi talk about the photo booth and the 3 generations. Lexi snaps at Emma because it's Mother's Day and it was just supposed to be Lola and Lexi. She says she's my mum, not yours, and you ain't even been here 5 minutes. And Lola doesn't want her to go, so she tells Emma to head back to the house. Lexi's a knobhead. That's all.
Yeah.
Denise and Chelsea are talking about being all like, oh, happy Mother's Day, blah, blah, blah. And they talk about men, and Keanu's been mentioned, but apparently he's too nice, as bad boy Ravi walks on in. The square's boy toy. Ravi says, alright, Christos, I'll sort it, as he looks right at Chelsea. Not gonna lie, since when did Keanu become too nice? I thought he was a bad boy. Why is he too nice now? He was doing criminal shit with Phil like 3 years ago.
Exactly.
Like, why is he suddenly too nice? I don't get it. Maybe he's mellowed because he's a dad or some nonsense. I don't know. And yeah, Lexi and Lola talk and have a heart-to-heart. She explains, like, why this has all been weird, and, like, all of these sudden changes. She says it's her first Mother's Day as a daughter to a mum. And Lexi kind of realizes, like, oh, yeah, fair enough. Maybe I was a bit mean. Like, nice. I'm glad she didn't double down as like, no, you're my mum. And then we see Whitney with Jordan as Chelsea walks in and they confide in each other. Chelsea says, this last year without you, it would have been so hard. And she says that I kind of see you as Jordan's second mum. Which, you know, kind of broke through to Whitney, gave her a little bit of like a, oh, Jesus. And then she has to be made to look half presentable as she feels she needs to say goodbye to baby Peaches. She's doing it. She's getting over it. She's grieving. She's allowing herself to grieve, Piggy. Hallelujah. And Lola and Lexi get back to the house and they talk about earlier. They say it's fine as Lola breaks down, realizing she's not going to be around to see her daughter grow up. And Lola cries into Emma's shoulder and Emma comforts her. That's pretty rough. It's like, well, I'm gonna die in a year, and I don't get to live. I don't get to see barely half your life. Sound. I'd be sad too, but I'm not dying. But Lola is. Haha. And next, we also have a pretty heartbreaking scene as Zach is talking about saying goodbye to baby Peaches. He says how he never knew he wanted to be a dad. Till they had her, and thanks. But before it continues, Whitney arrives as they plant this peach tree. I'll be honest, I thought this scene was going to be a bit longer.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of... They've... I'm not saying it feels like they haven't dedicated much time to baby Peach. But they've spent about a week and a bit. And like even when she's mentioned, it's not really given that much time. Like even later we say how it could probably have done with like a Julius theme type moment, but we never get it. So stop not showing baby Peach, you bastards. Then we see a dance-off between Lola and Lexi as Lexi wants to push her through, but Lola struggles to keep up, and Emma takes her place as Lola kind of looks on, happy seeing that maybe if she isn't there, maybe Emma can at least be. Which would probably be pretty comforting. And Whitney also says sorry to everyone for pushing them away. She says she felt that today wasn't about her because she never got to hold Peaches when she was alive. She realised that she is a mum and she's so grateful for baby Peaches. And Zach asks Whit if she wants to scatter the ashes, but she wants to stay there for a moment and holds on to Zach's hand. And we also cut back to the dance routine as Jay and Lola talk. She wants there to be more women in Lexi's life and likes having Emma around because she knows that she isn't going to be around next year. Jay's like, oh, stop it. But, you know, Lola's like, no, it's real though. Like, come on. I'm dying. But then they kind of go, hey, let's all get some drink. Let's get a big takeaway. And Emma seems a bit overwhelmed and kind of dashes away quickly, and everybody's a bit confused. And in the Vic, Ravi tries to turn on his charm, but Chelsea has been through a lot today, so he gets denied. They all raise a glass to baby Peach, and all the girls say Whit deserves to find a good un, and Martin pipes up saying, you know, so does Zach. And in the final scenes of the episode, we see Zach and Whitney open Peaches and scatter ashes on the soil of the tree. Whitney kisses Zach, but he pushes her away, not really knowing what to think. I get that it was a very emotionally charged moment. But one other time that you kiss someone is not after you've just scattered your child's ashes. Not when you scatter the ashes for the first time. But, like, this kiss is treated as it's normal. You're both grieving, you dickheads. Oh,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, but this should have been a Julius thing. Do you agree?
yeah, I just kind of. Why would you kiss there? I get it, it's emotional, you want some comfort, but you just. But then they both act like it was a totally normal kiss, not like it was emotionally charged by the moment. They've only just started seeing eye to eye.
Or lip to lip.
No, indeed. Yeah, I think it would have been. I think it would have been nice to have a Julia's theme, but I've just kind of changed my mind, saying that they haven't really given Baby Peaches like the. They haven't really given her like the time that she kind of deserved. So I feel like a Julia's theme would have kind of been. It's gonna sound really mean, because I'm gonna say undervalued, but I feel like it didn't really get the Julia's theme treatment.
Mm-hmm.
If you get me. All right. And episode 2 sees the aftermath of Baby Peach's memorial, and there's a lot on everybody's mind. ZACK has the blood test results soon, as Sharon brings up a cup of tea. ZACK says, "We're just mates," but Sharon tells him that she knows, like, "I know how you look at her," type deal. And Whitney and Chelsea talk about the kiss that happened yesterday. Whitney isn't too pleased because ZACK completely, like, pulled away, and she feels upset and shut out. But Chelsea likewise says you two have something special, and decides, look, I'll spend the night with the boys, and you invite ZACK over, and you guys just lay it all out, you know. And Jay and Lola talk about Emma. She's quite sad that she had to dash off, and believes she had to look after her neighbour, but she's sad thinking that she had to go through the loss of her mum by herself. But they feel better knowing that she'll likely be in touch soon. Stacey questions if people will realise if they put up sausage baps up 50p, and wonders like what she's going to do to get the cash in. Freddie arrives and adds £10 to the kitty as they get concerned how he's making money. I feel like even if they added 50p to the sausage bap, I feel like that wouldn't even, like, that still wouldn't make it an actual price. It would still be stupidly low priced. Because EastEnders doesn't know, like, burger van prices. Knobheads.
Knobheads.
And Chelsea tells the boys that she's organising a night out so Whitney and ZACK can have the house to themselves, and Chelsea wants it to be a straight man free zone. Except for Finley, of course, who's going to be there as well. And Ravi sees a chance to talk to Chelsea as she drops one of Jordan's shoes. She mouths off at him as he kind of just, like, gives her the shoe back. And this makes her sound like an idiot. And the next fun bit is that Kim walks by and calls Ravi sex on legs. Sex on legs energy is alright.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam takes ZACK to the hospital for his results as Sharon looks on skeptically. As Jay talks to Emma and says, listen, alright, you got to stop lying because, you know, Lola's not done. And she kind of explains that finding Lola again brought on a lot of old memories. She feels like she's not good enough for Lola as he issues her an ultimatum. Either tell her the truth and be here, or lie and don't. And Stacey and Jean think Freddie is selling drugs. They think they've been pushing Freddie into crime, and Stacey decides that she's going to find out. And Sharon gives Whitney a kind word over losing a child, but this ends up with them having a coffee. As Stacey and Eve also try to get into a laundrette, but surprise, surprise, the door is locked. At the doctor's, ZACK is told that his viral load is coming down meaning there are significantly less chances of spreading HIV. Sam asks how having sex works, and they simply say, use protection, and you cannot even consider trying to have babies till about 5 months' time, when his viral load is undetectable, which means that he won't spread HIV. Aaron, Sharon, and Whitney talk while having a coffee, and they discuss Zach and baby Peach, and whether it's a reasonable thing to get along. And Sharon says Zach wants to be friends. Zach has not said that, but Sharon's doing a bit of messing. And then Stacy walks in on Freddie taking pictures, as I thought he was naked for a second.
So did I.
I thought he was naked and Rocky was taking all these pictures. And essentially she goes, take it down, stop doing it, stop taking these goddamn pictures.
Why?
I don't know, I guess she thinks it's like really crude.
Yeah, and then, but she's a hypocrite.
Well, yeah,
She's
she just realised how like lucrative it could have been. Also, I must say, apparently they want teeth as like a. I've never heard of this as a fetish. I'll be honest.
What?
Teeth.
Teeth?
Yeah.
There's a teeth kink.
I think that I don't know if they wanted teeth or they wanted Freddy to like bite down on a toenail or something. I don't know. I'd like to say I know. Yeah. And then Emma kind of bursts into Lola's and kind of goes, listen, alright, your grandma, Edie, she was an alcoholic and a very abusive parent. But kind of still says it wasn't her fault because she wasn't loved. And she kind of feels like she can't run away from your genes. And when Edie was sick in hospital, she asked for Emma, but Emma just went, nah, I'm not going near it. And she then says she's so proud of Lola, and she wants to stay here being Lola's mum and Lexi's nan. And Lola seems to agree. Finally. Does this mean Lola will stop getting Emma will stop getting yelled at now?
Hopefully.
Probably not. And Stacy yells at Freddy for selling pictures of his feet and pictures of his teeth. She says this ain't normal, but he has been making some decent cash, and they realise this could be a good deal of money, but she does want it to shut down. Poor Rocky, how's he going to fund a wedding now?
I don't know.
Sam and Zach are at Peggy's and talking about, the drugs working and that everything's doing well, and Zach is worried about Whit because she is still grieving and dealing with everything else. Sam basically says, tell her the truth and move on. And he gets kind of upset by this and, just storms out. And Ravi is at the Albert and is flirting and teasing Chelsea, who thinks he is just busy following her. They have that kind of like dangerous flirty vibes, where she finds him insufferable, but they'll be absolutely pumping like rabbits. And Zach arrives at Whitney's as they're about to have a proper, genuine talk. But at the Albert, Chelsea snogs Finley to try and make Ravi jealous. She lays one hell of a kiss on Finley and wants to know if Ravi was looking. She gets annoyed when they can't tell if they saw. And Zach and Whitney talk, and he explains why he was with Sam and she assumes that he was too busy pumping to talk to her. Whitney says that she loves him, but that doesn't matter. And she pawns him off saying that he isn't relationship material and he isn't dad material. Whitney wants him to be completely honest, and he says that Peach's memorial told him that he wanted to be a dad and he wants to be with Whitney. As Zach finally opens up and tells her that he is HIV positive. And as a slight aside, Chelsea hops right on the square's bike and then sits on Ravi's bike. She says it doesn't matter, but as I said before, they're about to pump like They're about to pump like there's no tomorrow. And Whitney asks all the important questions about Zack's HIV. She first wants to know whether she has it or Peach has it, and pieces together the details. He opens up about how it happened, and she gets upset because he has lied to her the whole time. She understandably tells him that this isn't good enough, and he isn't good enough, and that he has to get out. We open up episode 3 when Jack and Denise talk. He's been working to the bone trying to figure out this network. He wants to get promoted and then do more from the top down, but she demands that he's back from the station at a reasonable hour. As Whitney is looking up about HIV and the ways it can affect your life. Chelsea and Whitney discuss the night before, and Whit tells her that she and Zack are just going to stay mates, and that it's for the best. And she says she's fine, and says that, and says that, Chelsea says that she's fine, and that she did snug a bloke, but it's nothing to write home about. Chelsea isn't convinced about Whit's mood, and Ravi and Chelsea play some flirty games, which I always have fun with them. Zack gets asked by Sam how'd it go telling Whitney, and he responds that she called him a freak. And back at the station we see Jack and Callum talking about the case. Jack thinks that they've gotten close, but Callum isn't convinced. He thinks that Jack is flogging a dead horse, especially because Ravi is just a tadpole in a very big pond. What do you reckon the crime is? Like, what's this criminal network doing?
I couldn't tell you. I honestly don't know where to begin and where to end.
People have thought that it could possibly be some sex trafficking.
What do they mean by that? Who's even sex trafficking?
Well, it's just kind of, you just transport bodies. Prince Andrew's best friend, old Harvey.
Harvey Weinstein?
Well, I was trying to not say the name because there's a probably flag some video, but essentially is some form of it's just like some sexual slavery, really. People are trafficked and then made to perform sex acts.
Oh.
Not good. Why do people think it? Because Bernie mentioned it once. In the cafe the other week. But yeah, who knows? I have no idea what Ravi's doing. I'll be honest. Basically, people are also saying, maybe he frequents the hotels. Maybe he takes a lot of girls there and then takes them on further. Who knows?
I hear you're a rapist now, Father.
Christ. Then we see Chelsea and Felix talking. He is laughing about how Chelsea put the snog on his brother, but that was a decoy snog. Then he shows up and he wrangles her a +1, so Ravi, whilst getting investigated by Jack, is likely going to be at the head of their dinner table. Stacy and Shifty Shiv talk, and Shifty grabs her and says the next payment is in 2 days, or I'll batter you. He's got very expressive eyebrows. He moves his face a lot. I don't know if he's supposed to be mental, but he seems a bit mental.
How many times has Shifty Shiv been in this? Is this like his first time?
This is his first time, yeah.
Oh. I hope that they keep him on the square.
It'll be about for a little bit, though.
I need Reese and Shifty Shiv to interact.
Okay.
I just want Reese to be like that person who's like, loan sharks back in the day were, and Shifty Shiv is like, oh my god, kill me now.
And Sam talks to Whitney and she kind of fights Zack's corner because she knows how much Zack cares about her. But it's time to think when Sam says if she cares, she'll understand. Because right now she's really not trying to see on Zack's level. She's just like, you're a freak. You're a freak. You're disgusting. And she hasn't really given him time to actually talk about it properly. And Chelsea is then interrupted by Ravi, and he wants to be the +1 for the family game night. He expresses how he isn't a player and jokes about how he's so good at games. He's going to be Chelsea's +1, just as Jack's trying to nail him on this investigation. Stacey rings Freddie and tells him, "Could you sell your feet pics for a little bit longer, please?" He says he can, and Stacey looks at her feet. I went, "Sorry, Stace, you gotta find your niche a little bit, love." I don't think your feet are it.
Oh, Who would pay to see them big yolks?
Whitney goes
Jesus.
Whitney goes to open up and have a genuine conversation with Zach about his HIV. He says, "Let's do it at the Vic because neither Sharon nor Martin know." And we see at the game night that Patrick, Denzel, Howie, and the Kimfluencer, all appear. Kim says that she's one influencer of the month, and afterwards Howie mentions how he loves Mastermind, and his favourite topic is the South Saharan Desert. Pretty good. Well, I'm more of a North Saharan Desert kind of guy.
Actually, I'll have you know, that's not a real desert.
Denise and Jack talk about this, plus... Denise and Jack talk about the +1, which according to Denise is Keanu. And once again, they're still pushing this narrative that Keanu's really nice. He's not that nice, lads.
Yeah, didn't he literally just shag Sharon and then leave her?
Pretty much.
Like Jesus. I don't think a bloke who shags his ex-girlfriend and then leaves her again to shag another woman is a nice guy.
Depends on your take.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. It's
Like you don't like. It's like if you went around to your neighbour's house and shagged your neighbour's wife or husband,
sound.
and then like they come home and like, oh, he's going to do that. But thank you, nice guy there, aren't you? Nice guy for shagging my wife or husband.
Okay. And Jack opens the door and is greeted by Chelsea and Ravi's smiling face. Ravi hugs Denise as Jack offers to take their coats, and Chelsea says, "Oi, give him a chance." Zach and Whitney talk about HIV, and she talks about how she didn't realise she could have HIV and live with it. He says that his viral load is going down and that within 5 months it'll be undetectable. And he floats the idea of once this happens, maybe they can try for a baby. Whitney's not exactly convinced, but she wants to know how he caught it by sharing steroid needles, which we'll learn about a little bit later. And back at the party, we see the Kimfluencer making teams. Ravi ends up on Denise's team, and he touches Denise's back, which makes her skittish. He follows her into the kitchen and demands that you get me the information I need, and I'll drop her. But Denise reminds him that she isn't gonna be blackmailed. As Jack walks in, Ravi finds the bottle he was looking for, and he is puzzled because he thought Chelsea was gonna go out with Keanu. But Denise says, "I must have got it wrong," as coincidentally, the delivery driver arrives with the Mexican food. Zach explains away the needles by saying, "I felt small on the inside, and I wanted to be big on the outside." As Whitney wants to know if he meant everything he said last night, which he definitely did. And back at the party, we see them playing charades as Ravi does one which is Indecent Proposal. As Chelsea and Ravi celebrate, Denise calls her into the kitchen and warns her off Ravi. She compares Ravi to Grey and his abuse, but that is way out of line. She says that Ravi is not who you know he is, and she shares how one of his customers was the woman Ravi harassed and pawned off Chelsea with back earlier in the year. She explains how he harassed her and threatened to expose her in all of these schemes. Denise asks her to stay clear of Ravi. As Stacey started taking foot pics, and Callum knocks on Jack's door and is appalled when Ravi's inside the house. He's questioning because Ravi is one of the main leads and this could be a potential conflict of interest. Whitney asks Zach if he wants to take her home. She says she isn't ready for all that, but they can at least cuddle. Yeah, cuddling. Ravi buys drinks for all of them because of the charades game as Patrick talks to Chelsea about Ravi. He jokes about the modern man with gaslight here, hot and cold smoke there, and essentially says if anybody heard like the chit chat around me, I would have never gotten married, giving her a bit more reason to pursue this with Ravi. Callum and Jack talk, and Callum is still questioning Jack's decision of having Ravi close on the case. He thinks that Ravi knows something and puts the pressure on Jack to stop all contact. Callum says he's going to go to the DCI tomorrow, but Jack says give me 24 hours. Jack says, I'll get to the truth. The final episode of the week starts with Denise preparing coffee. Jack was up early and Denise wants to call in sick to work today. He feels in Denise over Callum warning him off the case and risking his chance of a promotion. Jack wants to find out who told Ravi and if Ravi knows. Freddie is hungover and Stacey is talking about her feet pics. She's upset because nobody wanted to buy them, but he's just surprised that she gave it a go. They're struggling to get the 200 for Shifty Shiv as Alfie arrives and gives Stacey not much for the rent. Gene says that they can't do that, but it doesn't matter because Shiv is a loan shark. He can do whatever he wants. Gene has a great idea to flog Big Mo's dodgy wedding dresses they have stored in the garage. Stacey says it's the dumb idea, but it's a perfect gig for like Cockney salesman Alfie. Callum and Jack have a conversation about the case, and Jack is slightly angry and wondering why Callum has started coming for him so aggressively. Callum notes that now he has to look after Lexi and Ben, and Callum makes sure that Jack reassesses his life at home because Ravi has his feet under his table. And then we see Ravi and Chelsea as he looks very smug whilst looking at Jack. Patrick's been looking at photos of Yolande, his ex-wife. It seems like he's realised that Yolande is one true love and there's a chance he leaves to go and find her. At the cafe we see Ravi and Chelsea talking. Ravi leaves and Jack comes over and slightly interrogates Chelsea about what she knows about Ravi. She doesn't have much to add, but says that Denise believes that Ravi has done some bad things. I made a note. Jack is looking awfully Mr. Bean today.
I agree.
He was wearing a brown suit, and it wasn't tweed, but it could have been. He just looked very Mr. Bean. Sharon and Bernie have a conversation about the gym reopening, and Bernie throws Keanu's name into the ring. And he enters right into the cafe, and they have an awkward interaction. We then see Alfie and Jean figuring out what to do with the dress in the garage. They want to sell these dresses on like a last-themed car boot sale. Sharon comes into the frame and Alfie asks, do you know anyone who could help? Sharon says, I can't do it, but I know someone who can. Linda. It's Linda. Jack walks into the house and tells Denise that we need to talk about you and Ravi. He's confused because what does she know about Ravi? And like, why would she be warning Chelsea off? And back to Slater, Stacey's gotten a new subscriber and she needs to know what to do with it. Freddie gives her feet pick selling advice. Lovely and wholesome. Then we see Denise and Jack continue their heated discussion. Denise gets angry because he thought she had let some information slip about Ravi to Chelsea. She storms out at the accusation that she's jeopardized the case. She yells at him and feels bad afterwards, but it was probably necessary. Stacey gets a visitor at Shifty Shiv and he's demanding his money at 4 p.m. Alfie sees this go down but is ready to shift all those dresses in time. Linda's roped into flogging these wedding dresses and Linda says it's not really her vibe right now. And he confides in her that Stacey's gotten herself into a little bit of a rut. Rocky talks to Eve and he wants a sausage bap. They're joking and having fun as Kathy arrives, and Alfie walks in saying like, oh, you know, Kathy, do you need a dress? And Kathy's like, yeah. And obviously Kathy wants to be taken down the aisle, but Rocky's obviously still married to his first wife, and Kathy doesn't know. She goes over to check on the dresses, and is probably gonna buy them. We see Patrick win on some horses, and he looks at his picture of Yolande and feels proud and happy with his result. As Alfie tries to and then fails to sell a dress, Linda steps in and guarantees that he will actually make some money rather than flogging a dead horse. We then have the big beefy men situation as Ravi and Jack start beefing it out. They're posturing as Jack starts to question why he's playing Happy Families with Chelsea. Jack is paranoid and threatening Ravi and Nugget. He starts talking about Denise and calls her attractive as Jack snaps and demands to know who told him about the investigation. Ravi decides that they'll make a deal, saying, "I'll stop with Chelsea as long as you stop threatening me and my son." Jack says no deal. Mate, if he's a detective inspector, he's garbage. You're supposed to have a bit more tact than this. Jack and Callum try to figure out who told Ravi, but they realise they have absolutely nothing on him. As back at the dress sale, we see Bernie and Keanu walk in, and they bump into Sharon. As she's seen, kind of holding the dress over her that she's seen wearing at Christmas in the flash forward. Ooh. And Keanu fails to impress us. All he says is, "That looks nice." And I wrote, for someone as a top shagger, his game is absolutely whack. It's garbage. Stacey gets back in the house and shows Freddie a video of what the customer wanted. And from what I can gauge, the video wanted Stacey to wear some stilettos and probably crush his balls. Or something. That's what I imagined. And Stacey says, "You know what, log me off. I've had enough of pervs." And we see that Patrick is talking to Denzel about love and gives him some extra cash to spend on love. As Howie and Kim walk in. Patrick is reminiscing about him and Yolande and describes Yolande as the one that got away, and now he's going to try Gwynna back. Tonight. Then we see a lady throwing up in a bush as Kathy buys a dress for a wedding with Rocky. Whenever that may be, as Jean dumps her vol-au-vents in the bin. Interesting question to wonder. Why Kathy, if she bought that dress, why is she not wearing it in the flash forward? It would appear that her wedding's a bit more forward than Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
And Shifty Shiv walks in, and as Eve says, "I'll bounce his head off the cooker," as Alfie quickly tosses 200 quid to Shiv. As Jack walks in and tells Denise he's off the case because he told the boss about Chelsea and Ravi, he apologises for accusing her and says he was just paranoid. And Kathy gets back home and reveals that she bought the perfect wedding dress. She now wants to get the ball rolling and set a date, as Rocky looks sheepish. Alfie congratulates Linda and Sharon for helping out, and they appreciate their help and support in getting these dresses. Linda then calls the secret Queen Vic buyer and asks if they've got the cash sorted, Still no idea who that is yet. And Denise confronts Ravi and gloats over the fact that his plan to use Chelsea has sincerely backfired, as it is a conflict of interest. She says he can back off of her and back off of her daughter. Ravi says that nothing's changed, and she says that she's not helping him, as he still plans to use her for information. He says, "You will give me the information I need." And that was all of the EastEnders of the 12th week of EastEnders, all the episodes from the 20th to the 23rd. Piggy, as a whole, what did you think of the week?
All right week. Not much to say. Not much happened. Not much changed.
Yeah, there wasn't really the most exciting stuff.
Stacey got her cheeks squished, so which is the thumbnail for this video. It's either that or Patrick.
Yeah, probably that. Yeah, I suppose I echo much the same. It was an okay week of EastEnders, but the comedy wasn't as good. It was just a meh week. It was fun, but some of the stuff feels a little bit more drawn out now. Like the Ravi Denny stuff is slowly kind of getting less interesting. And yeah, I suppose it was nice to see Emma, but she also got a bunch of abuse again. So we'll see. And I suppose the final segment of the show, the award show, which we will be doing this week. And what order shall we start it in? Which award do you want to do next? Or first, even?
The Steve Motherfucking Blackman Award.
The Steve Blackman Award, which we have defined in the simple terms of the most wooden character of the week. Last week, I think it was ZACK.
And Baby Peach.
Forgot about that.
Yep.
And what's your one for this week?
Whitney.
Okay, I'm gonna let you have that one. You know what? Because all Keanu did was stand around awkwardly around Sharon, I'm giving it to Keanu. Because it's one line of the week being, oh, that looks nice. Garbage. Let's go for the Underrated Character of the Week award. Who do you reckon it's going to this time?
Patrick.
Yeah, that's a good choice. That's a good choice. I appreciate that. I forgot about Patrick, but if I didn't, they've really fixed his character as of late. Like, they've given him so much more screen time. And he gets to do more than sit there and go, yeah, man. Which is what he usually does.
Like, yeah, for the past 20 years.
Yeah. Underrated. I'm gonna I'm gonna go for Finley this week. He didn't do much, but he played Getting Snogged. Surprise. Very funny. And I enjoyed it. And I would like him to actually do something. Because he's just there to be Whitney and Chelsea's mates. And I would like him to get his own romance or his own storyline. You know. And the final award of the week. Who needs slapping down?
I feel like this award is too obvious. But Jack.
Yeah, fair enough. Definitely a 2-time slapping down award winner.
He might have been a 3. He might be a 3-time slapping down award.
There's a very big chance that it's a 3-time. He has
Could
been a
even be a
knob
4
this
time.
year. Who's gonna get the slapping down award? Emma's mum is getting the slapping down award because she was an abusive prick who really has messed up Emma to such a point she can barely bear to be with her daughter when she's dying. So yeah. Emma's mum needs slapping down.
Yeah.
And that has been Watching Walford number 12. Thank you for listening on the YouTubes. There is a playlist for all of the previous episodes if you do want to catch up on any prior weeks of EastEnders. And or go ahead and watch it or listen to it on any of the podcast platforms we're on. Spotify and Apple Music are the main ones. And welcome to a lot of you. Piggy, have you seen the Suki and are we?
What?
Have we gone up to 30?
What? Have we gone up to 30?
I think we hit 29. Well, I was just gonna say that the
hit 29.
What am I trying to say? The Suki and Eve finally get together videos hit 1.5k views. So welcome all who have been introduced to us by the algorithm. Make sure to watch more. And make sure to like and comment with the videos. And leave some discussion points if you feel. Someone said Mick Carter was the best character the last 10 years. Do you have something to say against that? And what do you think about the last week of EastEnders? Go ahead and comment us down below. I have been Ash from Watching Walford, and I've been joined by Piggy.
And I have been joined by the SEAN.
What's that spell?
See ya, I think.
And yeah, make sure to join us next time, but make sure to like the video, subscribe, share it around, and we are hopefully steadily becoming your favourite EastEnders podcast. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you, bye.